Guys, it is Bandit. We are back. First stream of the year for AJCL, and it is going to be a banger. I am joined by the one and only Unholy Raw. He's been casting quite a bit this year for the AJCL, so I'm getting in on this one to be able to do it. But we are going to be covering our boys in Pittsburgh Nocturnal and your Montreal Red Dragons. It's going to be interesting. To say the least. I gotta get in and do my codcasting stuff because I haven't casted this year yet, so I need to be able to get in here and set my stuff up.
Yeah, you're good. You talk about this going to be a banger. This is certainly going to be a grueler of a match. Both these teams have not really done too overly well. On the side of Montreal, you can definitely say they've kind of benefited a little bit more, being 2-1 this season, while Pittsburgh coming off of a tough 0-3 with a 0-9 map count. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see which one of these teams, come through.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, because you and I were just talking about it, I think Montreal has the better record.
Yep, they do. They are 2-1 with a 7-3 map count, and got to give them the benefit of the doubt as well. Their team is averaging a 1.01 KD, while on the side of Pittsburgh, they are averaging a 0.87 KD as a team. So that's something else that you got to take in consideration. So slaying power very heavy in favor, of Montreal.
Yeah, so it is going to be one interesting match for tonight. Again, this is a uppers battle, so it's going to be even more fun to see how this all battles out. Very curious, kind of to see how this goes, because you got firepower on both ends. So to hear the KDs that you hear, kind of crazy, because you have Dots and Xerxes on one end, and you've got Toby and Cosmos, I think, are the two on the other side that have been kind of lighten up that scoreboard. So definitely gonna be fun to watch, fun to see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, and looking at,
do we know who's on which side?
not yet. I actually messaged Cam about that, but hopefully we'll come through. I will say key players to be looking out for. If you're looking on the Montreal side, gotta be looking at Toby. The man's dropping a 1.71 overall KD. You definitely see Daxi and Nova, 1.111 for Daxi, 1.09 for Nova, and then you got Christian sitting at a 0.8 for that team. That's something that very much so to keep in mind and take in consideration. Meanwhile, if you're looking over at the Pittsburgh Nocturnals, you talked about Dots. Dots is someone that I hold very highly. Unfortunately for the Dots this season, he has not been performing very well, dropping a 0.72. You got Skittles, another dude who I think is a very solid player. He's just not had the best fit for the team. He's dropping a 0.79. Then you got Perk with a 0.88. But it's Huffing on the other team to really look out for, to be the key playmaker for that other team, as right now he is the only one currently going positive on that team. So that's something as well that you got to take into consideration. Now, the big question, though, is going to be when it comes down to the two teams, who do we think's got the better firepower? I mean, that's something that we've got to take in consideration.
I mean, if you're looking at the two teams, I would definitely have to say, going into this match, I would have to side with the team kind of on top right now. I'd have to go with Montreal. But the thing is, you can never shut out Xerxes and Dots. Xerxes, I've teamed with the man. I've shot against Xerxes. Both are solid shooters. So to see that team struggling is kind of crazy, to be completely honest with you.
That I will agree with. I don't know if you've had the privilege of being teamed up with any of those guys before. I can tell you from past experience playing with at least Dots. Dots, like I said, he's been a solid player overall. It's just interesting to me to see that he hasn't been shooting well and he hasn't been performing as well as we've seen him before.
Yeah, so
also, I don't know if you've shared your audio on my side or not yet.
I have.
All right, just making sure.
So we are good to go on that end, but guys, it is going to be a grueler match nonetheless. It's going to be interesting to see
Yo,
how these
Alucard
teams
with
break
the
out.
3 gifted. Much appreciate you.
Yo, let's go.
Much appreciate you, GOAT.
Unholy getting the gifted. Let's go. I'm working on that
That's
myself, trying to get my way
person.
going.
That is the first person to ever gift my stream. Just so everyone
Hey, there you
knows.
go.
Just so everyone knows.
That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. Nah, I'm working on it myself. I'm trying to make either casting or anything kind of a career. So
Bandit, before I forget,
I'm with
you
you.
might want to leave the queue just in case that shit pops.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Anyway.
Thoughts on the series, Mr. Cash? Toby, to answer that question, I think it's gonna be a tough banger. I think for sure there's some key players to look forward to. Now, in terms of overall map count, I will say on the side of Montreal, they do have the benefit of the doubt in terms of positioning. Also, whenever you get lobby code, Bandit, send me that lobby code.
I'm in lobby.
Oh, well, I'm joining off you then, because nobody told me
Okay,
anything.
that's fine.
And it looks like
I just read Dots and Xerxes.
Yeah, it looks like Dots is on Team 1, which means I'm going to assume that means that Pittsburgh is Team 1.
And I can't switch my stuff around.
You have to go through the actual, go into your settings, and you can pull it up that way. So.
Oh, okay, sweet. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I've been casting a long time, my guy, a long time.
I believe they'll switch. If not,
they do not. Well, if the team switches, then it's kind of chalked. But
it's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But no, I would have to say on my end, kind of looking at it this way, I would have to say a 3-2. I have to say map 5.
I don't know. It's tough to say map 5, and the reason why I say that is if you look at the map count of Pittsburgh in terms of what they played, they have been, they've been 3-0'd every single time. I think that's going to be something that is going to be a tough struggle that they're going to have to come off of. Meanwhile, like I said, on the side of Montreal has had an amazing, run overall when it comes to how they've played so far. They have not really dropped many maps. The maps that they have dropped, they've adjusted.
Yeah, but you also have to look at it this way, and the only reason I say this is because you have to look at it from a perspective of Churchill Polar Bears. I understand that's my team, but we were 3-0 back-to-back weeks.
Okay.
And it wasn't until against Boston we actually threw somebody else. So, at the same time, sometimes taking a 6-map loss right in a row really kicks somebody's can, and they can turn it around real quick. So, I'm not saying it's going to happen this time. Not going to say it's a top end, like, oh yeah, this is what's exactly going to happen. But for a player like Dots and Xerxes, neither of them I can definitely see them pushing back.
Yeah, and I can understand that too, but like I said, when you look at the map count, I think when it comes to map count, it's a little bit more iffy there, because like I said, let's pull some stats here real quick. So on the side of our loving Pittsburgh, they have 3 forfeits. They have 10. They've been 3-0 on 10. They're averaging a .87 on that KD. They have 3 maps that did not set, which means they were the forfeit maps. We have no idea what those maps were. You've got Colossus, where they've been 0-2'd on that map. They're only averaging a .9 off that. Fringe, 0.1, a .72. I look at these map pools, and I kind of think that when it comes down to the side of Nocturnal, they've got to figure out what maps they're good on, whether it's going through and scrimming or not, but they're not playing as well as they should be. Meanwhile, again, you go over to the side of Montreal. They've had an amazing run when it comes to, Raid. They're undefeated there. Exposure, undefeated. Plaza, undefeated. And all of those, 4 maps, they're dropping. The lowest is a 1.5, the highest is a 1.76, and then a 1.53. Scar, they have not looked great on Scar. They're 0-2 on that map. So, I mean, if you're on the side of the Nocturnals, you got to hope you brought Scar into this playset. They got Colossus, 1-1, 50% win ratio, but they're averaging a 1.09 on that. And then they have 3 other maps that they've won, not been confirmed, on which they did technically win through a forfeit. So it is very, I think when it comes down to it, I think the slaying power on the side of them having Toby, like I said, the 1.17. They have to, if you are Nocturnal, you need to shut down Toby. If you don't shut down Toby, you're not going to have a great time. You're not going to have a great time.
Well, and you can sit here and say this all season long, and then at the end of the day, it really does come down to who is going to show up. I mean, not that any of us are pros, but you can look at it in the Pro League as well. Going up against Optic Gaming, not a lot of people are said to beat them. Yes, every time somehow they come in second.
You had to rub that one in.
I did. But no, on a very serious note, going into this game, you've got Pittsburgh who are the underdogs. You've got Maryland coming in looking to continue their dominance. This game is going to come down to who wants it more.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to come down to who wants it more.
Right. And going into it as well, you got to look at it this way. Is Montreal going to come in and play down to their opponents? Or are they going to come in overconfident? Because they've been going as crazy as they have been. Are they going to come in? Are they going to be overconfident? And are they going to make mistakes? They have to be careful not to make the simple mistakes. And I have a feeling that could be the time that they do it. I know when I was on Knoxville, the season we won back in Season 7, we were on a really high spree. We were, I think, 4-0. And then all of a sudden, we hit a skid where we lost match to match to match. Like, I think we went 3 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are we doing? Because we got overconfident. So, Maryland's got to watch that they don't hit that skid, because that can really cause an issue if you don't pay attention to what you're doing. So they have to stay on their P's and Q's, make sure they don't get overconfident so that they don't end up losing the traction that they have going for them.
I do agree with you there. I think, coming in there, they're going to have a lot to go in. And it looks like Pittsburgh has actually just made a roster change. So they've officially dropped Skittles and have picked up Xerxes. So Xerxes may be bringing some firepower for the team. That's going to be an interesting thing to see. That is definitely going to be an interesting thing to see. I don't know if Xerxes is going to be able to bring the firepower needed for this team, but hey, it may be an improvement for them. They may think that that's just what they need to do. I will say, though, it is sad to see that Skills is getting dropped.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going on in that camp. We don't know what's happening. I know my team kind of got chalked at the beginning of the season. I was not aware of the people that were not playing, and I kind of lost both my first picks just right off week 1. So don't know what's going on in that camp. Don't know what's happening.
That's also part of the reason why when you're drafting people, make sure you talk about, hey, are you available? Are you serious about playing? Because I mean, I'm gonna say this: one of the people you picked up, I don't even know why you bothered to pick them up, but hey.
I mean, Pew's not playing anymore, so you can just say it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't know why Pew got picked up, but again, hey.
So just because I'm trying to do Phil at this point, the reason I picked her up is I needed a hill kitten. So I was like, I know
you should have just
picked up. You
should have just picked up Snips. To be fair, Snips is a better.
Actually, my other pick, and I messed up, and I should have taken her anyway. My first pick was gonna actually be Kentucky.
Yeah, I like the team that Kentucky's on. I think that she fits really well on that team. I do think that team has a bit of pacing issues.
Right.
And I think in the slaying category, they do struggle a bit, but I will give Marsh the benefit of the doubt. He is doing what he can for his team.
Who's on that team? I don't know who that team is.
It is
actually.
Marsh, Hidden Illusion.
That's Hidden Illusion's team, got it.
Yeah, that's Hidden's team. I don't know who their Emerald is.
I played them.
I think their Emerald is... Actually, I have no idea who their Emerald is, to be fair.
Their Emerald would be,
they had...
Yankee?
Yank's on my team.
Big Yank?
Big Yank is on my team. He's my Emerald. He was on Austin. He was on Austin originally. I believe that because they didn't have to make a roster change. They got blessed with not having to make a roster change.
I made a roster change for a couple of reasons. I was going to anyway, just because I wasn't going to be the only team without a 3 Ruby team. So
yeah, well, you would have had to make a trade anyways. But it looks like that they had Kiwi. Kiwi's their other He's there mode. Alright, looks like we got map 1 getting ready to go underway here.
I'm excited. Let's see what we got. First match I get to cast, and I get to do it with Unholy. We are going to Colossus, so a bang out for map 1. Gonna be interesting to see how this goes. Do I have the teams on the right side? We're gonna find out here in a second.
I made sure to, when I saw dots at the top, I made sure to put Pittsburgh on top. So you should have Pittsburgh as team 1, Montreal as team 2.
I tried putting the flip. I hit the flip. So
the flip button doesn't work.
Of course you tell me that this time.
You'll have to manually.
So yeah, teams are screwed up, guys, and I haven't best of 9. Great.
Yeah, if you're watching it from
Pittsburgh on the left, Red Dragons on the right. If you are watching my stream, but here we go. We're gonna.
If you're in my stream, the teams are correct.
Sifu with the loss though, first blood going to your Montreal Red Dragons, but early time going to the Red Dragons. So
you know, we're starting off with that red time going early in favor, but hey, it's still very early. Still gonna get flooded. If you're on the side of Nocturnals, you don't really have anyone playing that stat side, which is an unfortunate thing. And kill feed is just going so far in favor of Nocturnal.
Right. Well, Nocturnal actually not getting the early time. It is your Red Dragons getting the early time, but they are also getting set up. Your Nocturnal stuck on the back of the P4 right now, trying to get this push up, but right now, Red Dragons holding the spawns, holding the flanks, right now holding it all down, but that could change all right here. Dots up in their face, not want to lose the second hill. Unfortunately, is not going to beat an NPC up close. That is your Red Dragons on the hill early. Cosmos on a 5 spree.
Yeah, Cosmo going 7-1 is insane for his team. You know, we talked about Toby being the man to watch, but in this situation, it's looking like Cosmo. Meanwhile, on the Pittsburgh side, Brutal. Brutal's living up to his name, getting brutally slammed. I hate to say it, same as Shifu. But again, still very early. It's still a lot of game to be played. You know, we're going into about a 50-point lead here on the side of Montreal. That's something that, as a Montreal fan, you're loving to see. As a Nocturnal fan, that's something that you're not really enjoying to see.
Yeah, hopping on with Xerxes here on my side of the stream, getting some kills going. It's all going to come down to your SMGs on this map. Can your SMGs keep up the pace? Right now, Red Dragons keeping up the pace. Nocturnal just going a little bit behind, but right now they do have control of the P3. Can they continue to hold it? Does not look like it. Red Dragons right back into time.
Yeah, and you know, I will say Cosmo had a huge play there for that team, being able to push back, getting those yellow spawns. Unfortunately, you know, you did have one person still spawn out, which did get them down, but you had the rest of your team being able to play that tunnel, get that time, you know, get those trades that were needed to got and still have good spawns. I think, you know, for Montreal, you're loving the way you're playing this so far. And Nocturnal gonna have to figure something out here going into this.
Yeah, definitely not a good way to start this first rotation, but right now they did have Brutal in the back. Does end up falling, hoping for multi-kill, but Red Dragons trying to push the spawns out. Wasn't going to be easy, but Dots eventually is taken out. So Pittsburgh losing those back spawns. Red Dragons back on the hill, already breaking 100 points.
Yeah, and you look at that team, you know, Nova not doing too much for his team as of yet, but, you know, it's very early. He's not really needing to do much. He's focusing more on handling the spawn, which is really nice to see. While he's also, when he does end up on time, he does huge work for the team. Again, looking at Daxi, getting a lot of that hill time, being that OBJ player. Daxi has had a lot of criticism over the years since he's been in the league. He has been said to be one of the chokesters, where he goes hard when it comes to scrims, he goes hard when it comes to aids, but a lot of people have criticized his map play when he's actually on a team in the league. He is trying to prove them wrong yet again. It's something that he has been trying to do all season long, improving, and so far I think he's done a phenomenal job at that.
Yeah, right now, if you're watching Nova on my stream, we've got a 3 streak right now coming out of him, just trying to get moved up on this map, frying with that AR, does eventually drop, but if you are the Montreal Red Dragons, you got over 110 second lead right now. Pittsburgh just everyone negative, not shooting their guns back. This is absolutely horrendous if you're on the side of Pittsburgh. Not able to get anything moving.
And like you said, there's a lot of games still be left. This could just be the pre-game jitters coming out. We could very much so see a change here coming to the search and the overload. You know, you think they have the chance to push it to a game 5? Perhaps they do, but as of right now, it does not look like they have that. At least coming into this, they're a huge amount of points down. But you know what? They may prove us wrong.
It's also Colossus.
It is Colossus. You're either gonna get slammed or you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, but definitely not back and forth. Not like earlier in the season. Pittsburgh absolutely getting work slammed. But if you're looking at Montreal right now, all hands on deck. Definitely keeping several people on that hill. Both Nova and Daxi, along with Toby, all over a minute on hill. Everyone getting out, everyone slaying, everyone doing their part. Over on their Pittsburgh Nocturnal dots. Hold a little bit further back when it comes to any kind of time. At 13, Sifu sitting at 12. But the kills just not going in their favor. Brutal, 8 and 20. Kind of having a hard time keeping up with everybody. Gotta turn that around if you want to win this map. If he doesn't get it turned around, I have a really bad feeling here that Pittsburgh Nocturnal in a very large heap of trouble on map 2.
Yeah, and you talk about the maps a lot. This is the map that going into it, Nocturnal has not been favorable on. To be surprised, GM perspective, I'm a little shocked that they are continuously trying to play this map, and they're not putting this as one of their hard vetoes, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely not the Pittsburgh style of gameplay we were expecting going into this match, but man, we are going back and forth. Here comes the streak. Daxi pulling in the Hellstorm. Does end up getting at least 2. Xerxes on a killing spree.
He got 3 there. He did get 3 there. That's a huge 3.
Yeah, huge 3, and they get the rotations. Xerxes, though, starting to heat up over on that Pittsburgh side. 21 and 23. Closest one to going positive. But is it going to be too little, too late? 200 points already matched for your Montreal Red Dragons.
You talk about the score difference, and I'm going to say Daxi has been part of that reason why they had such a huge score difference. In the beginning, it was Cosmo having a phenomenal start off, but later on, it's Daxi who has turned up hella and managing to get second most time in lobby. That is something that as a team you'd love to see. Meanwhile, again, we talked about it on the Pittsburgh side. They are struggling in terms of the kill category, which is essentially leading them to struggle on getting that hill. They have not had good spawn controls, nor I would say the only right thing from them so far is they have had a better win rotation coming into this, but their break percentage and hold percentage has been extremely low.
Yeah, unfortunately just not going in the way you need it to, but I mean, at the same time, we gotta see what happens. It's still Colossus, still can turn around, but it's starting to shut the door for Montreal, sitting at 224 to the 104 and counting of your Pittsburgh Nocturnal. But I will say this, looking at it from this standpoint, you have the spawns, but you're not holding time. Definitely makes it harder to get back in this game.
And Xerxes trying to go huge for his team, getting some kills where it counted, letting his team start to get a little bit of time, but they've got the play this perfect. Even giving up just a few seconds in the long run could be detrimental to this team. Again, like we talked about, they're winning their rotations, but unfortunately they're not winning the gunfights, and it's really right now looking like a 1v3 or 1v4 overall coming into this map. And out of 15 seconds,
Yeah.
you really don't want in favor of Montreal, but you're getting up that time, hoping that you can hold the P2, hoping that you can then chain it with the P3. P2 being the money hill, this is definitely the hill that can get you back into it.
Yeah, but it's just not looking good. Might be a little too late for Sifu and Xerxes to start heating up. Map 1 just not going in your favor. 5 seconds for Montreal to finish it off. 3 seconds, but we do get in if you are Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh starting to put a little bit of a fight back into this game.
Yeah, Xerxes went huge there to keep his team alive as much as he can. He is still going huge for his team. Two keys.
Is it enough though?
The team kill might have helped there. Again, Xerxes cannot do it all. He has got to get some help from the rest of his team. And meanwhile, the knife from Toby looking to put a damper in effect, but his team does come to fill it in now. This is where, if you're Montreal, you got to make the decision. Do we let them have that time, or do we just start, do we fight for it? What are we going to do here? Personally, if I'm on the side of Montreal, I'm saying give them that time, rotate, we can win it off of new. And it seems like some of them are deciding to do that, but like I said, that was a huge money hill for Pittsburgh, and they did a good job.
Pittsburgh doing well. They are fighting for this new hill. Cannot give up a second. We are in crunch time now. Cannot give up a second. Have to continue to hold. Pittsburgh trying to make it a game now. But again, is it too little, too late? Looking like it may be, but Pittsburgh not going down without a fight. 160 to 249. They're absolutely trying to put all the chips on the table and pull this game back into a winnable situation. 36 and 35 out of Xerxes, 28 and 30 out of Sifu, but it's not enough. 250 to 173, not enough out of the boys in black and gold. They'll try to pull that one back.
I'll get screenshots. I have the
Bounced it.
Yeah, Xerxes did go huge there towards the end. The rest of his team did start shooting and start to help out, but again, it was too little, too late. This could potentially be a ruler of a series where it comes down to it. I think that now that both teams are a little bit warm, Pittsburgh should hopefully be able to start shooting back. Xerxes doing a huge amount of damage, breaking that 4,000 mark for his team. Meanwhile, on the other side,
big shout out real quick to Christian with a 5 gifted bomb in the chat, buddy. I absolutely appreciate that. Absolute
gifted.
Banger.
That is great.
He is my goat. He is my goat. I appreciate it. But yeah, looking at this map too, not looking good. If you're on the side of Pittsburgh, map 1, if that is anything to say, I'm not looking too hot if I'm on the Nocturnal side.
Well, and I'm going to give Nocturnal the benefit of the doubt. You do got some guys like Dots and Xerxes who, when it comes to S&D, we've seen them statistically play better on those maps than we have for Hardpoint. Meanwhile, I know for some people who do know Brutal is also somebody who has a tendency to pick it up more in the S&D category as well. So maybe the S&D is where they make their change, but they've got to figure out something on the respawns to help them out.
Nope, I couldn't switch everything around. All right, well, my
team's
going to be
You're good, I got it.
really hard to keep in line on my end, guys, so my stream might be a little bit confusing, but I will do my best to keep up with it because they started the game before I could get everything switched around, but it's still going to be a fun raid. Do you think, and chat, I'm going to ask you this too. There you go, made $75 betting against Toronto. That was a perfect way to do it, Christian. But we did actually get the right names on the right sides. It's just going to be confusing on the map, guys. So, Nocturnal versus MRD. Xerxes with a huge first blood. Do you guys think we see a sniper this game? Let me know what you think in the chat. Cosmos trying to stay alive over on this B side. Xerxes getting aggressive, gets one. He's not wanting to lose another map. He's getting aggressive and already in basketball. Bomb going down on B. That's Sifu going down, though, in the mid-map. So, Toby, Daxi, what can you guys do with bomb down in a 2v3 situation? Going into kitchen is going to be a battle. Xerxes does pull it off. 3 kills. Can he get the ace? Toby gets 1 on the other side. Brutal. Xerxes 2v1 onto Toby. Toby also having a battle for an ace to win this round. Is he going to get it? Xerxes coming in the middle. Denied the ace. Toby has to get this kill and get back for the defuse. Not going to happen. Too late in the game. Still going to go for that ace. Can he get it? No. Toby goes down round 1, Pittsburgh.
Well, like I said, going into this, the search is very much so a strong point for the Nocturnal side when it comes to who they have on the map there. And, we saw that there in that map 1. Xerxes managing to get the 3. That's something that we should see a lot from him. He's kind of always been the playmaker on every team that he has been on, and he has still proven that today with him just joining this team going into this. I think it's going to be a battle between who can get, more kills. Is it going to be Toby? Is it going to be Xerxes? It's going to really come down between those two guys who could determine this. But so far, map 1 is for Montreal. Is map 2 going to be for Brutal?
And Dot's coming out with 1, Brutal with a nade. Both getting a kill. And Toby and Nova down early. Toby being the lead killer right now. Is that going to hurt Montreal? It's looking like it, but there goes Dots, 3v2. And Xerxes just looks lost at the moment. Brutal going down on the other end. Here we go. Absolute chaos on ringside here. Cosmos trying to back up with Daxi, trying to get in the back, but his Xerxes gonna get this timing. Absolutely gets destroyed. Had the timing, just couldn't win the gunfight. Montreal turning it around here on this second round after losing 2 early, 2v1. Can Sifu turn this around for themselves? Turns it into a 1v1. Has to find Cosmos to win the round. 35 seconds. Has the time to do it. Smokes or hits the stun. Hits nothing. No information. Oh, it was a smoke, in fact. Oh, here we go. The timing. And he's able to do it.
You
turn it around.
You talk about S&D. You talk about S&D, and one of the things that every good S&D player will tell you is in a 2v2, play close to your team. Even in a 2v1, in that situation there, we saw they split up a little bit. Typically, in some situations, if you trust your gunny enough, yes. But that right there is a tough 2v1 clutch to get, and Shifu doing just that.
Yeah, Sifu able to clutch it up to win the second round for your Pittsburgh Nocturnal, starting to make a name for themselves as an S&D team.
And it looks like Toby. Nova's got the sniper up, by the way.
Nova, we've got our first
Nova with the snipe. He's hitting some wall jumping. Question is, can he find anyone with it? You play that top laundry with the sniper, you've got a lot of potential there of getting someone, but the question is, can you get the snipe and get out with your life at the same time?
Right now, not looking like it does eventually get to a heady. And he does get the
snipe there.
Brutal goes down as well. So
if you're Montreal, you gotta decide, am I not gonna bring the rest of my team over on this A side? Bomb is down over by Laundry, and I don't think that the Montreal team knows that. So they're not going to call that out.
Oh, no, they know it's down because they are playing it. Nova is holding a hard angle. Dots 1v3. He's got to be able to beat 3 of them. Is he going to beat the sniper? He is.
Snipe right there.
Oh, gets
that is a huge
back
snipe.
Into it here with the second or third round. First round on the board for them. Absolutely crazy Nova out here sniping like Dashy. Takes down 3 that round. 2 with a sniper rifle. 1 with the pistol. Toby going in and letting them know.
Who's the GM for the Montreal team?
I would think it's Nova.
Is it?
I believe so. I could be wrong.
What team is Christian the GM for?
I have no idea.
Oh wait, no. It's Christian's the GM for Montreal. Christian's the GM. Yeah.
Uh-oh, Daxi goes down. Oh boy, traded 1 for 1. Montreal trying to get aggressive on this B side. Sifu ducking and dodging, trying to stay alive. Gets the smoke off and I believe gets out. He does, but he was getting chased. Brutal goes down on the other side for Nocturnal. And Sifu still alive. He got out with his life. The sniper up top. 2 go down. Toby, Daxi both down. Cosmos trying to stay alive. Both your Nocturnal boys in mid and ring. This is where we were talking about got to get with your teammate. The two subs, Xerxes and Sifu, versus a sniper and sub on the side of Montreal. Who's going to pull it out?
And you also got to think, timing here is huge as well, because Shifu had the chance to get Cosmo if he would have looked the right way. Unfortunately, he looks the kitchen side, and that does give them plenty of time to get bombed down.
Oh, the timing! Did he see him in the sniper? I think
this is one of those. Yeah, this is one of those situations where, playing close to your teammate really helps. And unfortunately, the positioning of where everyone is. Oh, the Nova with the sniper just barely missing. The call is going to come that he is up top. And Shifu shuts it down.
Yeah, Montreal unfortunately losing that round again. 3-1 in the favor of Nocturnal right now. Christian, I bet you he is sweating bullets over there, watching his team struggle in this search and destroy, which is something I believe they've actually been rather good at lately.
Yeah, and when you talk about one of the big reasons why Montreal is currently struggling, it's got to be that first death ratio. Nova has gone down twice overall, letting Xerxes get 2 first bloods. Shifui also getting 1 first blood, and at the same time, Daxi going down as well. And when you've got Nova and Daxi constantly putting your team in a 3v4 situation, that is not something you like to see.
Right. Well, and there goes Cosmo, another first blood to the Nocturnal. And it might turn into more than that. Toby trying to get away with his life, doesn't able to do it, but you got your fish in the sea. Nova, unfortunately, off the play. Toby or Daxi going down. So Nova having to push across mid. Is this going to work out for him? Trying to live, not going to happen. Nocturnal quick to the 4-1 scoreline.
Like we said, this is a must-win for Nocturnal. If they don't win this, they're going to have a very bad placement going into these next 2 weeks. These are matches that they have to win because, again, if you look at where they're positioned overall in the standings, they are tied for dead last with Michigan Samurai, with Knoxville. Those are teams that they're dead tied with right now. If they end up losing this match, if they win this match, this puts them in a little bit better positioning. They end up getting into somewhere like the Vancouver territory, where Vancouver, being the only other team in uppers, to be 1-3. So this is definitely something that is a must win.
Nade across map on Nova, absolutely wild. How many times Montreal is getting first blooded? They've got to slow down on these first bloods. Cosmos, you got to check back there. Hopefully you can stay alive before you get flanked. But he does end up not having to worry about it. You still have Brutal waiting for him. Dotso goes down, but the trade is in. Toby goes down as well. 3v2 for this bomb flank. Oh, the flank is on, but does not win it. Sifu goes down. Brutal, though, does get one. 2v1. Can he clutch it? Has to stay alive. Just has to stay alive. Does
he have the time? Wait, he's got the time.
Xerxes gets it. 5-1 Montreal. Struggling on this raid after being perfect on this map up until this point.
You talk about teams, these teams. Like you said, I'm pretty sure when it comes to the S&D category, Montreal has not been the greatest on it. If we're looking at the team stats and everything, and it comes to in general, just match wise of how things have gone, they've had in their first match against Boston, they did win the S&D, but they lost the other game modes. Going into their next match, they did win all of those, and then in the last one, again, they won by forfeit, which you take the forfeit wins with a little bit of a grain of salt in terms of how that affects your overall game flow. But when you look at how they've played, statistically speaking, Montreal has been relatively good when it comes to search.
Yeah, but meanwhile, right now, Nocturnal picking them apart with the first bloods. But right now, Montreal able to turn it around, finally putting some stuff together here. The trades come in, and Xerxes does end up going down. So we are back to a tied, well, not tied, but 5-2 We are finally getting back into it here if you are Montreal, but is it too little too late? That is the question every single time when you go down like this, because the pressure is all on you. So one mistake can cost you the whole map. And right now on the side of Montreal, you keep giving up these first bloods. It's not a good sign, because it makes it real difficult when it comes down to it to pull yourself out of a hole when you dig it this deep. We are all for hitting this B side. It's going to be a bang out. First blood again
And
to the
Xerxes.
Nocturnal. Nova
Xerxes
goes
getting
down.
another first blood is huge for that team. You know, you keep the live count in favor of you. You work for the solo pushes that eventually are going to end up happening. And that is something you do like to see. However, Toby doing what he can to keep it even. Daxi picking up one as well, and the numbers finally going in your favor. You know, when you've had the numbers, you've won the round. And that's been the unfortunate truth for this team. You know, Cosmo getting a good one off Brutal there. Xerxes potential for the ace. If there is somebody on this team that can potentially do it, it is definitely Xerxes who can get the ace off for this team. The question is, you got
Right.
Cosmo kind of hunting for him, looking to figure out where he's at. He is going to get the information that, hey, he's going to be pushing mid. Watch those mid steps, and of course, both his teammates are going to be able to kind of back him off, hopefully force him back to money.
Yep, and
That's
they do
exactly
just
what
that.
happens.
So Nocturnal ends up losing a second round in a row. All pressure currently still on Montreal. Can they turn it around here, though? Or your Nocturnal to finish this map off and tie the series up one apiece. They're relying heavily, though, on Xerxes to do it. Only player on their team with double digits right now. Because we are still sitting on match point or map point for your Nocturnal. Xerxes 10 and 5, absolutely carrying the Nocturnal in the search. Dots needs to turn around, so does Brutal, but here we go. First blood. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Dots from Daxi. The nades finally in favor of Montreal as they get their first blood in several rounds. Getting the early numbers here on the side of Montreal, 4-3. Nova, though, does go down to Brutal, so we're tied up. Xerxes with another, and just as you thought it was going to be good for Montreal, the life count changes. Nocturnal back in the lead of life count, 3v2. Daxi with one to even it up, 2v2, two people in mid. But is the flank good? Sifu for one. 1v1, Xerxes versus Daxi. Daxi having to push around to Art. Is he going to be able to get the catch on Xerxes? Right now, Xerxes pushing around, looking for him. Daxi getting hunted. Daxi going to back up. Xerxes backing up.
This is also one of those situations. This is also one of those situations where, like I was talking earlier, when it comes to Daxi, a lot of people say Daxi chokes under pressure. So here's the big question: he wins this 1v1, he keeps his team alive, he keeps his team still able to do this. Chokes it.
Yeah,
a lot of people may look at this as a
unfortunate. Nocturnal do take the map 6-3. Unfortunately, Daxi just doesn't have the ice to be able to pull it off. Xerxes 1,700 damage, 12 and 5 on the map.
You know, we're guaranteed now to see that map 4. That's something that Montreal, although you would have liked to take it in 3, that does help you out in the long run, because again, after the performance we saw on Colossus, you're thinking, hey, we can get him on another hard point. Maybe we win this. Maybe we win this. Go ahead and I'm going to change up the scoring real quick. With both teams being on that one.
Because we're wrong colors on my end. Let's change that.
Not the colors.
Not the colors.
If any of the GMs are in chat and actually have the ability to send us the maps, we'd like to see what maps are still in store for us. So Christian, if you have those, can you please DM them to me? That way we can see them.
Would be massively helpful. Going into this overload, though, we do have correct colors on my side now, so I'm happy about that. Anyway.
Hey, we got the Scar. This is nice to see. These two teams really haven't. I don't think they played a lot of Scar either. These two teams, to be fair. So this could potentially be in anybody's game going into this. Of course, Scar is one of those maps where it is side heavy. A lot of people would say. So if you
Green
have
side
the,
is the favored.
it is indeed the favorite, and it looks like starting off Montreal is gonna have the favored side going
Yeah,
into
Montreal
this.
will have the favored, but here's the thing you got to look at. You have two teams that have been headbutting. Xerxes started to warm up. Toby goes down first. Sifu with 2 as well. That's an early 4 dead. Xerxes wins the fight on the other end. That's 4 dead already.
So a map update, since we were just given the maps. As you guys saw already, we saw the Colossus, we saw the Raid. We are on the Scar now. Going into this, we've got for map 4, which we are guaranteed to see, we've got some Den Hardpoint. So some good old-fashioned Den, and then finishing it off. A map that not a lot of teams like to play, but if it comes down to that map 5, we've got the Plaza coming in strong.
Yeah, but Nocturnal already starting off really well. 2 full wipes. 2 dead in the feed again. Pittsburgh pushing it up again. Brutal does get the slam. 2-0 early for the Nocturnal here. Going into the 3rd rotation of the ball here. Cosmos trying to do what he can. Can't do it. Xerxes heating up here quick. 5-1 out of the man as he is trying to get the Nocturnal back on top.
Yeah, we talked earlier in this game about one of the key players that you have to shut down being Toby, and it looks like they are very much so doing that. Xerxes and Shifu doing a great job shutting down Daxi and Cosmo, who so far have been the 2 players for this Montreal team that have really kept them going.
Yeah, and an early
love to see
3-0 right
that
now.
you're able to shut
Pittsburgh
those players
Nocturnal.
down.
So, are we going to see this Montreal team turn it around? They get their first full chance. Not able to do it. That is 4 dead in the feed once again. Pittsburgh just absolutely slaying the Montreal Red Dragons right now. 3-0 early.
You do have the 2 team kills that also came through as well on the side of Nocturnal. That's something that's a little bit, you know, you gotta watch those team kills, but at the end of the day, those team kills are still not causing too much issue for your team. So that's something you like to see.
Yeah, a quick almost wipe again out of the Pittsburgh Nocturnal. Montreal just looks lost on the map. Arrows are everywhere. No one knows where to look, and they're just constantly stuck rotating out of spawn.
Overload.
Huge kill from your ball carrier.
Yep.
Or Pittsburgh trying to
Toby
get
gets
this push
another
up. So here we go. Sifu, what are you able to do out of the store? Does get one. Sifu hiding in the corner. Gets lucky with the trophy system going down. He did turn around. Is getting naded. Is Toby on that red side, but still Pittsburgh up 3-0 early. Is it going to be a map 4 that's going to be determined here by how fast this game is going? It is 3-0. Pittsburgh still has all the pressure on the map right now. Everyone just trading kills back and forth. Montreal finally, though, getting some kills in the feed, but number 4 in Sifu is in the back. I don't know that anyone's reading this that he's top green right now. That's 2 dead in the feed for Pittsburgh. They're gonna try to move this device. Sifu starting to make his presence known.
Yeah, and you talk about map
down to
control.
this.
It's really just who has the better map control. You know, looking at this on the Pittsburgh side, you've got Brutal still starting off relatively slow, but that does not matter when his team's able to slay around him and he can just get those scores going into this. And when it comes to who's been controlling the map more, you've got to give it to
And
Pittsburgh.
that's a fast 4 out of Pittsburgh. 4-0 in the first half. That is not good if you're on favorite side.
One, you know, we talk about green side being... Now you've got the favorite side up 4-0. You can play this passive if you really want to. But, you know, from what we're seeing, we may see Nocturnal go full on and try to play aggressively.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting second half of what we're going to be able to do if you are Montreal. Because again, you're giving up the more favored side. And now you're having to take on Nocturnal sitting on the better side. And you're not slaying real well map 4. Because this is the exact opposite of what map 1 was. Xerxes and Sifu woke up and they're ready to play.
Gotta love.
Xerxes does go down early.
You gotta
Toby
love
with
this
the first
push
blood.
up top red there, and unfortunately Toby unable to get any kills from up there. But hey, give him the benefit of the doubt. He had the positioning. He was in a good spot. He just could not find it.
Yeah, but here we go. Montreal starting to do what Pittsburgh did to start. Does get the first detonation, but at that cost, we are in a full spawn reset. If you are Montreal, Brutal with one, Xerxes with another. That's 2 dead in the feed for Montreal. Toby goes down as well. We're back on the spawn rotation. Toby going in with one, but too little too late. Dodge with one. Toby, Nova trying to get in this kill feed, trying to get Montreal back out of their spawn. Is it too little too late? Xerxes 20 and 10. He's double positive this map. Going absolutely hog wild. Brutal. Stay alive on his back red. Gets a little bit of help from Xerxes. Xerxes does not win the second fight. Absolutely massive if these guys can start pushing up. Montreal does so with another kill. Does knock down Daxi and Cosmos. So it shuts down the early pressure that Montreal had. What can Pittsburgh do now that they have full control of this device? Can they get the wipe and get the move up? Looks like we are at a full standstill though. Montreal setting up on this red side, trying to clear this B site so they can get this device pushed up. Trade's going out, not looking too good if you are the Montreal Red Dragons to get any kind of movement out of this ball. And 2 minutes 52 seconds. It is going to be a close map. The Montreal Red Dragons can start scoring here in a fast, rapid pace, but as time continues to dwindle, it is looking more and more bleak for your Montreal Red Dragons just because at this point Nocturnal does have to play TDM.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that is difficult if you are on the Montreal side of things, that they just really have to play TDM. They don't have to worry about pushing the bomb up. They can just afford to get the kills and keep you guys off of it. It is a long 2 minutes still left on the clock. If you're the side of Montreal, you got to think, hey, what do we got to do to pick it up here? You know, Daxi currently not shooting very well, even though map 1 he started off extremely hot. Cosmos also started off extremely hot map 1, and unfortunately is not doing too much here. If you're on the side of Montreal, what are you thinking here? Like, is this something that, hey, you know, we gotta start scrimming, we gotta start getting ourselves, you know, prepared? Because if we're losing to a team like this, what do we gotta do to fix it? What do we gotta do to fix it?
Well, and the biggest thing right now, I think, on that Montreal side is the fact that the arrows are just not working together. The communication must not be there. Cosmos absolutely trying his darndest to get this moved up. 3 dead in the feed. Montreal almost at a full reset once again on this star overload. Xerxes just causing issues in the spawn once again. But you do have number 8 Nova pushing up. Does get a few kills, but not able to get a touch on the device. Xerxes up in the spawn still, but Toby does get rid of him eventually, but he is at 32 and 17. The man is on fire this map. Montreal, though, does end up picking up the device. Toby trying his darndest to get that device moved up, but Brutal and Xerxes shut it down early. And just nothing doing. If you are the Montreal Red Dragons, 40 seconds left in this game. You have very little time to try to get back in this game, but I think mathematically it is just not possible. It is GG's. We are going map 4. Nocturnal taking a map lead on the team that we thought was going to be the better side of things, but just Pittsburgh, like I said at the beginning of the cast, Xerxes and Dots hate losing. It's starting to look like Pittsburgh might make an upset.
Yeah, this definitely has the potential for an upset here, and we've seen a lot of upsets within the last few games that have been played, whether it's been the Premier League or it's been Academy. Prime example of Academy League, your team being able to beat Boston. I know a lot of people had their money on Boston, that Boston was going to win it, and you guys came and proved them wrong. You know, You guys made the roster change, getting rid of Snips, and you know, again, the reason why everyone knows, slight format change, ranking came into place, and we had to make the changes. But do you feel like even though you had to make those changes, do you feel like that with the way your guys played, feel like you were comfortable with them, that they played well?
Meaning what? Like meaning
Well,
my
meaning,
team's
yeah,
swap out?
meaning your team, like with the swap out, do you feel like your team, you know, because you guys, like I said, a lot of lower team upsets, your team being the most recent upset of a team, do you feel like that even though you had to make that roster change, did you feel potentially good about the roster you had playing in
Oh
that
yeah.
Boston team?
Oh yeah. I have full confidence in my team no matter what. I think we're gonna be just fine no matter what happens.
Okay.
But I'm gonna take a quick break. I gotta go take my dog out. So if you can cover this next map for a minute until I get back, that'd be great.
I got
But
you.
guys, we're going into a map 4. The last hard point we saw was 250 to 173. Can we see Montreal push this to a map 5, or are we ending this at a map 4? Is Pittsburgh gonna make the upset? Stay tuned. Let's see what happens.
Oh wait, I did that wrong. It's the top team. That's the team that needs to be moved up. Is that not letting? There we go. Okay. Looks like they're bringing Christian in. So Christian finally coming in to play with his team, the Montreal team. Whatever situation was up with them. Also, hi Twiz. Whatever situation was up where Christian was not there before, they finally bringing it up. So, yeah, this is one of those situations where with Christian now being in on that team, do they get better or worse? Them no longer having Cosmo, is that gonna hurt their overload game or their hardpoint game? But again, we do have the Den hardpoints. That's something that we're gonna enjoy seeing. How are we doing today, by the way, chat? Alrighty, and looks like the map is getting underway. Got some meh. Feel you on that sometimes, I feel you. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start off. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Trying to see who we want to start on. Who we want to start on. I like that camera. We're gonna talk here. Good, I'm doing well. Excited for my daughter to be born here in the next 3 days. So alright, we're going to start off on whoever's POV this is, just because I like that cam on. It looks like we're starting off on Brutal. Brutal has had a rough game. Let's see if Brutal is able to pick it up and potentially help his team out. You got 3 pushing through mid, 1 pushing to that P2, however, the P2 watch is there. And that is a 3 down in the kill feed if you are on the side of Montreal. Montreal starting off slow as points going in favor of Nocturnal. Nocturnal getting a little bit aggressive here. Shifu trying to do what he can for his team, getting them off time. He does get some bullets in, but he does get a nice nade. Unfortunately, he cannot finish off Daxi there, as Daxi's going to continuously get some of this time. Gotta love to see that. And Daxi getting that time. We're making our way over on this P2 rotation.
Right.
His last 10 seconds.
Well, and I'm off
Ball
Wednesday,
in favor of Nocturnals. Nocturnals looking like they're winning the rotation. However, they gotta deal with Toby. Toby is close by. They know what one is. The nade comes through. Unfortunately, does not find anyone. We got Montreal spawning in the back. That is a huge advantage for Montreal here. Meanwhile, they start clearing people off that time.
He peed.
He peed. Oh, yeah, we got the map jump off, it looks like.
Hey, you're always gonna have one of those. You're always gonna have a glacier, but C3
well, I think
looks
now
like it was split
I
pretty
think
evenly
now
down
it's
the middle of that hill 1.
No, Hill 1 was more in favor of Pittsburgh. I will say I don't think it's called a Clayster anymore. I think it is called a Scraps, since Scraps did it on this very map today.
So did Hook, and so did
I
Shotzi.
mean, we didn't see that, so it doesn't matter.
Actually, we did see Hooks.
I didn't see it, so shh. Going into this P3 rotation, like I said before, you got Christian, who's finally playing with his team, which means on the Montreal side, they are going to struggle a little bit harder since they no longer, has Cosmo there to take it up.
Yeah,
so without them having Cosmo, what does Christian bring to the team? He brings a 2 and 7 starting off. What's good, Caesar? What's good?
Right.
For anyone also still in chat, we will be doing another stream here come 8 o'clock, or no, 9 o'clock CST, because we will be doing the next matchup. So if anyone is wanting to watch that Academy banger
here, and there he goes.
Yep. If you guys are wanting to watch an Academy banger, make sure you guys tune in for that one as well.
I'll take it down here in a second. I'll take it down now. I'll be right back.
You good? I got this. Nova trying to get a little intel. Didn't get nothing off of that, and that's going to continuously let that time flow in favor of Pittsburgh. I am streaming the next match. It is at 10 EST. They bumped it back from 9:30 to 10:30, or from 9:30 to 10. So we'll be seeing the Churchill Polar Bears take on the current undefeated Manhattan Mafia. This has been a match that has been much anticipated on the side of Churchill.
I thought he was streaming somebody else's game.
It's time. Last bit of scrap time went in favor of Montreal, keeping it to a 10-point game as we go into this next round. This next set of rotations.
I don't know yet.
You're on the Nocturnal side, you had a huge amount of time off this P1. The question is, can you get it again?
Yeah, and it looks like we are almost tied up, so Nocturnal definitely having a hard time on this map, but Montreal, like we said, we could be going map 5. It's possible. He called me crazy for it, but
I did. I was not expecting this to go to a game 5. But the way that this is playing out, we may potentially see a game 5.
Sifu 13 and 8, not wanting to see that map 5. He's wanting to end it in 4. Montreal, though, already on the rotation, trying to get themselves set up for this P2, but they will have at least 2 to 4 members, it looks like, fighting for this P2. Toby with the first. That's a good break. Now you've got 2 more you got to beat. That's 2 down. Toby with 2. Xerxes gets 1 on Dexy, though. Nova with the trade. Christian with 1 as well. Dots in the back, though. Can he cause issues? No, he's cleared rather quickly by Nova. And Montreal, full control of this P2 right now.
You talk about players who need to step up their game a little bit here. I think on the side of Montreal, the main person that's got to pick it up, unfortunately, right now is Christian. I know he just came in on this map, but 6 and 14 is not a very good scoring. Give his team credit; they are fighting hard to keep themselves in.
Yeah, and it looks like Daxi is just a hard point reaper. 18 and 13, Toby 21 and 15. You weren't seeing this out of that last map, but right now, absolutely frying here on this map 4. Montreal absolutely taking control of this map on Den.
It's an interesting play out of Nova here, kind of pushing through that mid. He does get the spawns for his team, which is good. So you at least, if you're on the side of Nocturnals, hey, they're going to be spawning behind us. Let's try to play for that. But the question is, what can we do here?
Yeah, can the break come in? Doesn't look like it so far. Already, though, they're getting set up. Pushing us in. Toby and Daxi both pushing it from No joke. That's 2. That's all 4. Nova, Toby, Daxi, all in the feed. Nocturnal completely wiped out of that hill and don't have spawns. It's going to come down to this fight on the other end. Christian wins it. And Montreal looks like they're going to chain these hills together.
Yeah, last 10 seconds going in favor of Pittsburgh. You know, if you're Pittsburgh, you really like to see that. You had a huge amount of time on this P4 the last time you guys got on it. So the question is, can you do it again? Are you going to be able to get this time, get the break? On this one, you're not having too much luck when it comes to winning the rotations, but you have had plenty of luck when it came to breaking.
Yeah, and the break looks good so far. Pittsburgh able to take out the 2 in the back. Looks like this fight between number 8 and number 2 is going to be everything for it. But 8 does get through. He does stay alive. Can he get the turn on? No, it does not happen.
That was a huge break by Toby there as well.
Pittsburgh looking like they're trying to get this break in again, but not going so well, so far. Exerts himself in behind, gets 1, and they do continue to keep this lead at a 20-point lead. Can Montreal get this back within 5? We'll have to find out here on this P1.
A lot of times this P1 is typically a very scrappy hill for teams, so you gotta hope if you can get it. Whoa, the knife coming through from Toby again. Toby has had a great time with that knife. Every time he has it on and he catches somebody, you're guaranteed at least 1 there.
Yeah, but here we go, the 20-second lead. Can they get it back down? No, Pittsburgh ends up taking the hill right on back. If you are Montreal, you have got to stop Pittsburgh from getting these money hills. And it's just not going in your favor right now.
Yeah, the wide flank there coming in, and you kind of give up spawns there. I think that's a very questionable thing when you don't have anyone hard anchoring. But to be fair, I mean, they got the time. Now they've got to try to break this P2, because that's where you're really going to get a money hill on. Like I said, P1's typically going to be a lot more scrappy. You're not really going to get too much amount of time on P1 unless you're absolutely frying. But spawns coming in for Montreal here. This is a good sign for Montreal, but can they capitalize on having the spawns? You got Christian getting 3 dead there, which is huge. Spawns are flipping out yet again. But the question is,
number 7 there getting the flip, but Montreal continues to hold. Seafood, the only one with a kill here on this next hill. Montreal back within 10 seconds. Can they continue to push this lead and get flip? It doesn't look like it. Montreal last alive is Toby trying to take the fight. Fights 2 of them. Ends up losing that fight. Pittsburgh in control of this hill again. And they break the 200-point mark.
Yeah, but, you know, you talk about nades, and although Daxi does get 1 with the nade there, he also gets his teammate dots, which is, you know, arguably a bad trade-off when you're down on time.
Yeah, Daxi, unfortunately, with that team nade, does give Pittsburgh kind of the edge on this one. Number 4, Seafood takes down Christian, who was trying to get that wide flank. Doesn't end up coming through. However, we do have number 6 in Toby, who did get a sneak through, but ends up getting snipped out by Seafood. Brutal, getting pushed up, does take 1v1. Christian Dots does win it. 219, 198. Pittsburgh can win it here. You are Montreal, you've got to get this pressure going. You gotta push the hill. It's not looking good. Brutal with 1. Another one's won by Dots in the middle. Daxi with the double kill. You have to continue to push it. 203, 231. It can still be 1 here. But with that being said, if Pittsburgh can hold it, they cannot give up a single second. But it looks like we will see that next hill. Yep, it will. We will see a new hill. They have to move fast. Montreal has to be on this new. They have to win the gunfights. Is it going to happen? No. Only 1 person there. The trades have to be perfect if you are Montreal.
And to be fair, if you were Nocturnals, you know, I think you made a slight misplay by not pushing it sooner. You could have given up the last, 5-6 seconds that were there, but instead you opt to take it. You opt to try to give yourself a little bit extra room, but now you put yourself in a situation where we have to break this. Failure to break this means
Yeah, but their
we have to go
breaking's
to the
been
map
so
bottom.
good. Their breaking's been so good. They break it again. This has been a banger of a hill. And Pittsburgh
There you have
gets
it.
the upset.
Wow, you got a nice upset if you are Pittsburgh there. Holy.
Well, welcome to Castan.
Gotta give Pittsburgh fans the credit there. You know, I will say I was not expecting Pittsburgh to come out and shoot the way they did, but hey, they picked it back up. They picked it back up. And Toby dropping the
said
41
Pittsburgh
for the
could do it.
loss is a
I said
huge
Pittsburgh
upset.
could do it. Unholy out here questioning me.
Hey man, I gotta question you a little bit. What kind of caster would I be if I don't throw a little question every now and then?
Right, but guys, that is going to do it for this uppers match. Congratulations to your Pittsburgh Nocturnal winning 3-1 over Montreal Red Dragons. That's going to be it for me tonight. But hopefully you'll catch the next game when it comes down to the Churchill Polar Bears versus the Manhattan Mafia.
So I'm gonna ask this question just because I know you are playing that match. Who do you think wins that match? Who do you think